unpredictable. We can get also a reaction too from the UK now, from Ben Harris-Quinney from the right-wing Bow Group think tank. Thanks very much for coming onto the programme, Ben. Interesting developments this evening, aren't there? What's your view of Boris Johnson's appointment? Because do you think he'll put the cat among the pigeons in the diplomatic circles in Europe, particularly considering what he said over the last few weeks?
Well, I mean, such a huge amount has been said in the last few weeks and the last month that I think this is almost a signal for the Conservative Party, certainly to wipe the slate clean. I mean, Theresa May has made a few off-collar marks about Boris Johnson during her leadership campaign. But I think now there's a recognition that unity is a priority, and the appointment of Boris Johnson would suggest to me that Theresa May is far keener to keep Boris Johnson close rather than on the back benches where he could potentially cause some trouble.
Sure, I suppose, though, I mean, he will have to mix it, won't he, with other European diplomats and people that he has been critical of in the past. Is that going to be awkward?
Well, Boris Johnson has been critical of the European Union. I don't think that he's specifically been critical about any European country. And, you know, that will really form the basis of our negotiations with foreign powers, not just within the European Union, but, of course, all over the world, where we try to draw up new trade agreements and new agreements on movement of people, immigration, and a number of other issues, security as well. So I think Boris Johnson has the charisma and the experience in his role as Mayor of London to make a go of it.
Theresa May has created sort of 2 new posts, hasn't she, to oversee this Brexit. A deliberate attempt, do you think, to keep Boris at arm's length from that?
Well, not really, because, of course, Foreign Secretary is one of the great offices of state, and it is the office of state that is most closely tied to our relations with foreign countries. So I can see Boris Johnson having quite considerable say and oversight in our negotiations with foreign powers in terms of Britain leaving the European Union. The 2 new posts, I think, were necessary to take account of the amount of work that needs to go on. But one thing that I'm particularly concerned about, and I think a lot of grassroots Conservatives are very concerned about, given that they didn't actually get a vote on who the leader was going to be, that balance in the party is seen not just on the issue of Brexit, but also across all cabinet posts, because whilst Brexit is an important issue that does need a lot of focus, the day-to-day business of running the country still goes on as it ever would. And Conservatives want to see their voice represented in that process.
Sure, and just finally, what about George Osborne's resignation and the appointment of Philip Hammond as the new Chancellor? Is that an odd one?
Well, I think the point about George Osborne was that he had really staked his entire career alongside David Cameron, with Britain remaining in the European Union. And really, I think his card was marked when the country voted to leave. So I wasn't surprised to see George Osborne leave. I mean, of course, he's still a member of Parliament, and I equally wouldn't be surprised to see him come back again at some point. But I think the position that he holds in the party and the wider country at the moment is not one of great popularity. And so I think there are other figures that could bring more to Cabinet.
All right, Ben, look, good to talk to you. Thanks for getting your thoughts on this. That was Ben Harris-Quinney from the right-wing Bow Group think tank from the UK. Thank you.